Good Wednesday, Pelham Road. Here we are, December 23rd. Just a couple of days away. We're excited here at the Roy House. Hope you're excited as well. Well, I have a devotion that I've written about December the 23rd. Or, we don't really know when Jesus was born, but this is the day before he was born. Well, here we all are a day away from Christmas Eve. Mary, pregnant. Very pregnant. I imagine they did not know that full term was 39 weeks. Otherwise, if they had known, Mary would not have likely been on the road. Likely, pregnancy was a bit more magical and maybe mysterious to that group. You traveled if you felt like it. If you didn't, you didn't travel. So that Mary's traveling must mean that she was a hardy soul. Anyway, Joseph was, as Matthew describes it, coming home to his ancestral home. The scripture does not inform us, nor should it, where the holy couple may have lodged, say, on this particular night, the day before the day. But the likelihood is that they arrived in a town and knocked on a few doors until someone invited them to come in out of the weather. We can speculate. I imagine they were exhausted. It's the end of a day of walking and you're 9 months pregnant. They would be exhausted and probably watching their pennies, and so they try to take some lodging that is very modest. I can imagine, if you have an imagination, imagine with me, I can imagine Joseph taking Mary's sandals off and rubbing her swollen feet a bit. Joseph piling up some laundry under her head and saying, now you rest for a while. Meanwhile, he steps out and brings back some maybe pita bread and some grapes, maybe olives, for their very modest dinner. They share a little, let's call it marital banter. He reassures her they are close to Bethlehem. Tomorrow we'll be there, he says. Tomorrow night we'll be home. We'll be there. Don't worry. Just another day of walking. Or if the donkey is to be believed that we see in all the pictures, of riding on a donkey. Now we know it really isn't his home. If it had been his home, they would have stayed with kinfolks. It was where his folks were from, not where they were. And it was not where he was going to stay himself. So, he doesn't really have any kin in Bethlehem. If he did, he'd stayed with them. Meanwhile, back in the corner of that little place they're staying at, Mary says she needs to take a little walk a little bit, stretch. Her back's hurting. You can imagine that, 9 months pregnant. So Joseph helps her up, and Mary tells him to just take a rest yourself, Joseph. I'll be fine. Just a few steps and I'll be back. And she makes a big old stretch. I can imagine that, big old stretch. Rest her hands on her swollen belly. And like all first-time moms, she worries about what she doesn't know. Elizabeth and the other ladies had been some help, probably, but there is so much to learn in raising a child. She begins to breathe rather shallow, thinking about it all, maybe getting a little nervous. Mary, come back in, Joseph says. She turns, and there's Joseph standing in the doorway. She gingerly comes back in and lays back down. Joseph looks at her. She returns the glance. He kisses her gently, then puts her legs in his lap and rubs her feet until she falls asleep. Now, I know tomorrow is going to be a lot more exciting. Angels, and then there's labor, of course, and so much more. But tonight is quiet. It's a routine. It's uneventful, or what most of us just call life. Merry Christmas. Good morning again. Happy Wednesday to you. I know, life can get kind of hard, but we're going to do a little music therapy for you, so just have a seat. Listen to Gene Holdway. He's going to sing something for us today. Gene, it's got to be John Prime's birthday or the anniversary of his death or something. In fact,
I think today marks the 25th anniversary of the first time he ate lunch.
there you go. And so we're going to honor John Prime this morning.
John Prine, that's actually part of what brought me to Pelham Road as we walked out this door the first time and I saw the album cover up there and it started a discussion for you and I.
It sure did.
John Prine, an amazing entertainer, but a man who cared very, very deeply about people and about the things around him. And I'll try to get through this. I don't know. Listen to the words of this. It means a lot to me. It's called Hello in There. We had an apartment in the city. Me and Loretta liked living there. It'd been years since the kids had gone. They had lives of their own. They left us alone. Now John and Linda live in Omaha, and Joe's out somewhere on the road. We lost Davy in the desert war. I still don't know what for. It don't matter anymore. Old trees, they just grow stronger. Old rivers, they grow wilder every day. But old people just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there. Hello. Now me and Loretta, we don't talk much now. She sits and stares out the back door screen, while all the news just repeats itself like some bad dream that we both seen. Someday I'll go and call up Rudy. We worked together at the factory. But what'll I do if he asks what's new? Say nothing, what's with you? There ain't nothing much to do. Old trees, they just grow stronger. Old rivers, they grow wilder every day. But old people just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there. Hello. So if you're walking down the street sometime and you spot some hollow ancient eyes, please don't just pass them by and stare as if you didn't care. Please say hello in there. Hello. Say hello in there. Say hello.
Very few people would call John Prine a hymn writer, But that was a hint.
That's
That's a
about
hint.
as close as it gets.
Google his name. Look for a song called Souvenirs. You'll be busy all day Googling other things and listening to him. See you next time.